So happy we had a chance to connect up because I just got an email about what you're doing, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I have to meet you and see what you're up to. So you're actually one of my keto coaches, right?
Yes, yes, of course. It's my pleasure. And this is my certificate.
Wow, that's great. And so you are located in a couple places, right? I think in the Middle East, two different countries, right?
I am located in Jordan. In
Jordan.
Jordan.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. And you have quite a large YouTube channel. You're helping so many people. This is
Yeah,
so
yes.
exciting. Wow.
Yes, I have a YouTube channel that is all the topics that in it it's focused on low carbohydrate diets lifestyle. It's Samara's keto life. It's a keto life.
Wow. That is so amazing. And I see there's a really cool book behind you. I see that. I like that. It's called the Keto and I could see that.
The
Actually, it's
blue
my
one,
book. Yeah, the body type.
the body type. It's your
Yeah,
book.
that's great. Looks very familiar. So tell me a little bit about how you found out about keto and my program, and just in general. Did you have you had health problems or any other issues, or?
At first, and most of the people will have some problems, including insulin resistance in their life if they are eating carbohydrates. Uh, I began keto 5 years from now. At that time, I was a structural engineer and a trainer in the Jordanian training center for engineers. And I've begun with the stress of life, begin to gain weight, especially in the central obesity. So, and I began to search about diets and trying to lower my caloric intake in order to lose that excess weight. And even though I was a cyclist and I practice jogging and running, it doesn't help me to lose that weight. Uh, Accidentally, at that period of time, I've saw a strange topic in the YouTube. If you want to lose weight, if you want to lose fat, eat fat. A strange topic at that time, 5 years ago, in the Middle East. There's no one know about the ketogenic diet. It was in the United States, booming in the United States, but not in the Middle East. So I've listened to the video, watched the video from the end, from the beginning to the end. After I finished it, I decided to begin with the ketogenic diet the day after it.
Wow.
So immediately it clicked in my mind. So I began with the keto flu issue, the constipation by changing the fiber in the meals. So I began to search on YouTube and the web. What is keto? What's accepted and what is not? And of course, I've watched your videos and become addicted to your videos.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you.
Fine, thanks.
So you basically you had this stomach area and you search it out. And being an engineer, you probably want to know all about the details. You want to know why it works, and it just makes sense to you because you think logically, cause and effect. Unlike the medical profession, sometimes they don't really think like an engineer.
Of course. When I was in engineering schools, whatever we have learned, we begin by learning the cause. What is the derivation of the equation? How does the equation ends? And after we know the explanation and the derivation, we begin with the science. Uh, in medical school in nutrition, because I've quit my job at the end and studied nutrition. There's no, when you are studying the literature, you are not studying the roots of the literature. You are all what you are studying at the end is the recommendation for the RDA or the recommendation for the experts. So with the topic of cholesterol, we've studied all from the first year in nutrition to the final, to the end. Cholesterol is bad, low saturated fats. Where's the clue? Where's the research? We have never been exploded, studied the research. Even the ketone bodies and how does it work, we've never studied, and the doctors never open this topic in a good way. While it is in the literature, in the textbook, you can study the ketogenic in the biochemistry. It's in the book, but it is not in the syllabus.
You're right. You're right. Totally. It's not there. And so you give someone who doesn't understand these basic words, these basic principles, and it doesn't make sense to them. When they think keto, they think ketoacidosis diabetes. That's as far as it goes. Now it's dangerous. Stay away from it because the word is similar, but so it's like you really have to understand the like you said, the basics and the root. That's why I have lots of dictionaries, because when you go into this medical literature, there's probably going to be about at least 20 words per paragraph. You have to look them up, especially when you get into biochemistry. And if you try to study that without doing that, you're basically going to be fully asleep by the time you get through with it, because so many of these words are just like so long. And so when we get into, so what I do is I try to simplify, I try to, take these complex, try to make it as simple as possible. And my favorite dictionary actually is a Chinese dictionary, Chinese to English dictionary, because the definitions are really simple. Because some of the other definitions, other dictionaries I have, you end up seeing all these words that I don't even know what they mean in the definition. So I have to look those up, and it takes me forever. So I'm really into using dictionaries and really understanding the full meaning of what the subject is talking about and every little part of it. So, yeah. And I see you have a skeleton right next to you.
This one I bought it when I began to study personal trainer for sports. So I began to study the bones and the muscles in order to understand.
Great.
So
Great. And so you have, I'm going to put your YouTube channel below, the link down below, so people can sign up. But what's fascinating in the Middle East, which that's actually the majority, it's even more than my English channel, the Arabic language, the Northern Africa, the whole Middle East, there's a huge interest in keto. And I'm assuming it's because they eat more sugar than any other country in the world, or more. And that, as far as the area goes, I think it's way more than America. And when I looked at that, I'm like, there's a lot of sweet things that you guys eat over there.
there's a lot of something of that which is difficult in the Middle East, that the culture and the type of food that we eat. It's so delicious by design. It causes you to eat more. Even if you see a tourist who is coming from United States and he is doing keto, he cannot continue. He will cheat in the Middle
Yeah.
East.
Yeah.
You have all that dessert that is becoming immediately after lunch or dinner, bombed with sugars. And in the Middle East, all the Middle East, the main food that we eat is rice, and even sometimes rice with bread. And in Jordan, we have a meal that is mansaf. It's bread. After on it is a lot of rice with a lot of meat. So the insulin will rise to the rocket, like a rocket.
I'm sure that you may even need a nap after lunch if you do that.
Of course, of course. And it's difficult to have a nap after a big meal, yani. And a lot of people has insulin resistance. You can see it everywhere. So your channel is very popular in the Middle East. It's the number one channel that is watched in the Middle East, it's your channel.
Wow. Wow. That's good because you know what? I think it's going to help a lot of people there, and it looks like they're interested, and they'll change their diet, and I think be healthier for it. And we're getting a lot of success stories over there as well. So, um, yeah, that's great. I'm so glad that people like you are taking responsibility for the different areas because we need a lot more people to help because there's a lot of people out there that need coaching and need help and more data. So
Of
that's
course,
so great that you're doing this.
of course, there's something that is interesting in your book and your point of view of losing weight. It's not lose weight to be healthy. It's be healthy to lose weight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the best concept that can describe how to lose weight.
You know, it's one of those simple things that's so powerful when you really get it. And I stumbled on it by accident because with the patient, um, started working with someone, and the first month she didn't lose any weight. And I was really frustrated. I was ready to quit, and she's like, "No, no, I'm feeling good. Look at my skin is better, and I have more energy." And I said, "Are you sure?" Lost 0 weight for the first month. I mean, she did everything I told her. And the second month, she lost more weight. The third month, it was the second month, I think she lost 21 pounds. The third month, it was like 63 pounds. So I just had this light bulb go off. I said, you know what? You have to get healthy first before you lose weight. And that has really helped um, with a lot of people because if you don't have that viewpoint and you go for the weight loss and it doesn't work, you'll quit, even though it's working. You're getting healthy. So it just resonates with people because it's the truth, and especially women that have a slow metabolism. If they're trying to lose weight, they might not at first, but the energy goes up. I think with keto and with all the things related to health, probably the biggest indicator to know that it's working is the cravings go away. The cravings go away. You're not hungry. That is the first thing to know it's working. And don't change anything. And then, of course, then your stomach will start shrinking. You have more energy, cognitive improvements. But I like it because it's simple and I found the things that are simple are very powerful. And so that's why I just want to get as many people on this as possible because it handles not just weight, as you know, it handles so many other issues.
Of course. يعني in my practice in coaching people, as you have said in your lectures in the coaching program, it's so powerful that even some problems in the client's situation is solving without any medical intervention while comes to you to lose weight, but his insulin resistance dropped down, diabetes dropped down, hypertension is normalized, skin tags, they also lose their skin tags, emotions begin to be more clearly. They get rid of hunger and the cravings when they begin with me and ask me, for how long do I need to go with keto? So I answer them as you told us. At first, let's reach our target, and then you will decide for how long you have been to keto. When I started keto in myself, I did not begin keto in order to make this diet my lifestyle diet. I've begin it to experiment with the diet. I have seen it in YouTube without recommendation from anybody. Opposite of everything I have learned from media at that point. And I began to measure my blood pressure because I had high blood pressure issues at that time. So I was scared that it might increase my blood pressure because I will eat fat opposite of the recommendation for hypertension to have low salt, low fat diet. So my hypertension, my blood pressure dropped down. I began to have clarity. My performance in exercising is better. Um, I describe the happiness of keto and intermittent fasting. It's the happiness or the enjoyment of empty stomach.
I like that.
Yes, to feel that you have all that energy in your body, all that focus, and at the same time you don't have any bloating. To disconnect between the feel of satiety and a bloating stomach. Most of people connect the satiety with the bloating and an explosion in his gut. And he has to, the food that should be like here in order to feel satiety. And
Isn't that true? You have to keep stuffing yourself to the point where, okay, now I'm full. So now it's weird. It's like we have to cram as much food, but when you actually start doing intermittent fasting and you start to find out how much better you can feel being truly burning fat and switching over to fat burning, and you're no longer dependent on these blood sugar things. Boy, it's kind of like that's where I'm trying to put people. I'm trying to get people in that place so they, from their own accord, from their own self, can determine that that's workable. Versus, especially when you get into diet, you got to be careful when you evaluate people, and they have so many losses, they have so many bad programs people tell them. So I use a very, very light touch when I coach people. Try this out, see if this works for you. I want them to really make up their own mind to do it rather than me pushing them to do it all the time. That doesn't work. So once they feel it and understand it, you don't have to use motivational tricks and tips and gimmicks. They just do it because they feel better. It's like, wow, this makes sense. So uh, I just learned that from trial and error.
yes, of course. A human is not like an ant.
No,
And
no.
an ant can keep trying to climb a rock and keep trying. A human try one, second, third time, three times and quit.
Forget it.
The beautiful thing about keto, it's like when you begin with it, each symptom or good experience we are talking about in social media, he will experience it, and this experience of changing his diet uh, make the person like uh, wants to know what's coming next, and he's experimenting in his body. He's feeling well, and so on. That's what at the last 5 years I have been experimenting all of things in keto and low carbohydrate diet. I tried to fast for 3 days and experiment for and measure my ketone bodies and glucose each every 2 hours.
Wow.
Okay, so in order to graph the GKI, the glucose ketone index, and after at the third day, I tried to make an exercise, 2 hour exercise, cycling exercise, to see how much glucose will reduce and ketone increase. So at that time, I reached 5.6 millimole per deciliter. Yeah.
Wow. That's some serious ketones. That's
Yes.
amazing.
There's something newly. I put it in your group, in the coaching groups. I've measured my son's ketones. He's an infant. Oh, not infant. He's 6 months. Okay. So in literature, when you see when you read about the nutrition for babies, and you see the breast milk is 55% fat
Right. Right.
and 6% protein, which is about 2 grams per kilogram for the baby, and 40 grams of lactose, and like the lactose is low glycemic. It's not like fructose or not like glucose. So by design, the baby will be in ketosis.
Yep.
So before introducing solid food to our baby, I told my wife I want to measure my baby's ketones. So
Wow.
okay, do it. And he was zero point 0.6 after a meal, after a well breastfed meal.
Wow. That is fantastic. Yeah, I have a granddaughter. She's 2 years old right now, and so totally on keto. You talk about coordination, about advanced intelligence, about perfect bone structure. I mean, it's the right diet for kids as well, and you shouldn't have to load up kids with all these carbs. You just end up, unfortunately, causing all sorts of, ADD issues, focus issues. Lucy is her name, and she's very calm. She's focused, in control of her own body. She'll go up the stairs, and if she falls, she catches herself. I'm like, keto is the way to go. So, and she's breastfed for a long time, so that was very, very important too. You know,
It, breastfeeding is very important, and you can see that if you raise the baby in a low carbohydrate diet, uh, even when he see candies, he will not enjoy candy as other boys and girls. And he will take it in some point, but it will not. He will stay like avocados, broccoli, vegetables, meat. And it will not take the place of this whole foods.
do you have any other kids?
I have three kids. I have Saeed, Shaham, and Taim. But the cause of introducing ketogenic diet for my family was my middle son, uh, which he was the turning point in my keto journey, because I was keto and I was losing weight, and my wife continues cooking by rice and bread and like this, and I only eat the something that can be eaten for a ketogenic diet. So when he was 1 year and 8 months, our physician told us that he is not growing, yani his height is not increasing. So I told her what to do. She told me after he reached 2 years, she will begin with testing the growth hormone. So so I asked her what can I do in order to increase growth hormone, and at that point I already watched most of your videos so fasting and ketogenic diet will increase it, but I cannot do this thing with my young son. So she told me you can reduce carbohydrate, but not eliminate it. Huh? So at that point, I told her I will put him in a ketogenic diet. So she told me, no, 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 don't put him in a ketogenic diet. He's smart. When we are at the car when we're driving, so my wife is crying. You want to put him in the diet that you are freaking out. So after tell her read first. You will cook. I will not cook for him. So you have to make the decision. Read for 1 week, and after that we will take the decision if you want. After 1 week, we begin all the family, me and my family, my wife, and both of our sons in the ketogenic diet. And at that month, his growth began and increased 2 centimeters.
Wow. Wow.
I
Amazing.
don't know if I don't know for now. Does he has some gluten intolerance, which may make the growth stop or stall, or it's normal. But I've tried to make this thing, and it works.
That is fantastic. You know, when I was in practice for 30 years, I was in practice for 30 years. And about 10 years into it, I started having people from the Middle East they flew them to my office because the medical doctor at the embassy in Washington, D.C. had a great success. I didn't even know he was in the embassy, but he started sending people from the Middle East to my office for fertility from the Middle East. It's apparently an issue. So they would fly in and I would have them there for a month and we'd just put them on the diet. And all of a sudden they started getting pregnant and they would send over more people. And it was like, it's nothing special other than the diet. So that was interesting that they would just fly them out and stay at my office for a month. And I would just put them on keto and they would become fertile, both the husband and the wife. So that's another interesting experience I had with Saudi. Actually, I think it was in Saudi Arabia.
The great thing about fertility, you've discussed it in your book, the ovarian type. So, most of those women with ovarian type have PCOS. And PCOS is triggered by insulin resistance and problems in the liver, as you've discussed in a lot of episodes in your YouTube channel. The problem that and the PCOS and intermittent fasting and keto is well studied now and published in PubMed and with a great studies. When you read a dietitian or a nutrition literature recommendation as the UK literature for the PCOS, that the nutritional intervention, there is no nutritional intervention. While the only medicine or only cure for PCOS is a nutritional cure.
Yeah, they might put them on metformin, but what does metformin do? It actually helps correct, at least temporarily, insulin resistance. So yeah, there are so many conditions that are tied into this insulin resistance. It is like the common thread. But this is amazing. So what I'm going to do is I want to, if you're watching this video and you are from the Middle East, definitely sign up on his channel. How often do you do videos?
Lately, about every day.
Okay, great.
Shorts and long videos. I have an episode that I have summarized your book in my channel.
Wow, that's great. That's awesome. Well, what we'll do is we'll definitely try to get people to sign up on your channel because there's a lot of people in the Middle East that need this data. And I'm assuming that you do it in your Arabic language?
Yes, in Arabic language.
Perfect.
I hope at the future I will have a new channel with English language for about 10 to 12 episodes in order to, when I introduce myself to you or to any doctor in the field, in the local carb community, it's beneficial to have English language. But my main language, my channel is in Arabic language. Yes.
Listen, there's a lot of people in the Middle East to educate, and they need help. So you're doing fine. So we'll stay in communication, and I really appreciate you spending the time just to chat. And we'll do some updates. We'll do more educational things with our coaches in the near future. I'm getting organized. I have some new things I want to share with you in coaching people. So I'll reach out when those Zoom calls are ready. But
okay, it's my pleasure, Doctor.
That's great. Very nice meeting you. Wish you the best, and I will talk to you real soon.
Okay, of course.
Okay, have a good one. Okay, bye-bye. Hey, before you go, if you're benefiting from any of my content, I would love to hear about your success story. Please share it in the link down below.